So why isn't my website converting? So there's a mix of reasons why people's website aren't converting. So from our experience, there's a mix of two things. So design and actual, um, people just aren't reading data. So from your point of view, you're from a design background. What would you say from a design background is the main reason landing pages and websites in general aren't converting them as
Um,
well as they could be?
yeah, I mean, from what we see from a UI user interface or a user experience perspective, it's usually down to whether people connect with it on some level, and
Absolutely.
that's where you come in with branding and things of that nature that you can delve deeper into knowing your target market and things like that. But at the end of the day, if you're targeting your website or your landing page professionals in the corporate world, but your website looks like it's selling toys to kids, even though it can be lightning speed, it could be giving you whatever offers and things you want. You're not gonna it's not what you're looking for. It's not gonna speak to you. So that's where we see the majority of the issues with the people that we work with
Yeah.
and the projects that we take on is is people just haven't aligned the visuals to speak to the market that they're trying to sell to.
Yeah, I mean, another thing is like when we come to driving to traffic to the website, the reason the conversion rate's low because you're driving the wrong people to the website. So you're getting people with the wrong intent coming to the website. So the wrong audiences are being driven to the website. So they're not actually going to be interested in that offer or whatever's on the
Well,
page.
if we're
So
diving that deep, then I'll ask you that question. So, in terms of driving traffic
yeah,
to the website
yeah.
and people not converting from potentially Facebook or SEO, what's going wrong there? What are people doing wrong?
So what do you mean?
So,
So
people are driving 10k traffic to the website, but no one's
yeah.
converting. Why is that happening?
Yeah, so whether it's a Facebook ad, so maybe the promise something else, or the ad's just not tailored to them enough, or through using AdWords and through SEO, so like writing the descriptions wrong and stuff like that. They may think they're clicking on something, but they're actually clicking on something completely different. So
So, clickbait.
clickbait, yeah, that's the right word, yeah. So it's got to be relevant, and that's what we get to the most out of your budget and the most good conversions. It's better to have five solid conversions than 10 floppy ones.
Yeah, no.
So
So, how
it's
does
important.
I obviously I know about that, but you're the expert in targeting and stuff like that. So, how does the the the, the kind of people, the kind of audience that you target on Facebook potentially to drive traffic to the website, how does that impact the quality of those leads? How does that impact the how long people can spend on the site and what they're going to do when they're there?
I mean, it's difficult to say really, but like you've just got it. Like again, it's just in the research of your audience. So like when you're planning Facebook campaigns, you've just got to make sure that it's the right people you're targeting. So if you're selling um, if you're selling products aimed at one age group, but it actually doesn't fit that age group, then you're
Mm.
targeting the wrong one. So there's elements to that. So yeah,
I guess the relevance score on Facebook
relevant. Yeah,
helps all
relevance. Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, that's a big point.
that. Mm. What from a this might be a bit more difficult to answer, but from an SEO perspective,
Yeah,
what so again driving traffic through SEO, people are landing on there. What are some of the factors that if you're having a lot of traffic on the site, let's say 200 a day,
yeah,
what's the factor that contributes to the fact that only one or two people are actually doing what you want them to do?
yeah. I mean, there's loads of things. So it could be again user experience. So a slow landing page that's terrible.
Oh yeah.
Big images, pop up images that are they're hard to close when you like when they pop up. Just things like that. Something that's like mobile friendliness as well.
Mm.
Um,
We
but
spoke about that in the video. I'm not sure in terms of what timeline this is, the podcast coming out to the video,
yeah,
but that we've made a very big point about that,
yeah,
and yeah, mobile optimization in 2019
yeah.
is absolutely crucial
It's huge.
from both Google perspective in terms of where they rank you, and also from people's perspective. Like if I'm on the phone and it's not
Yeah,
optimized to my thumbs, you're never going to see me
never
again.
gonna do it.
I'm
Yeah,
gone.
the mobile traffic's crazy, isn't it?
Mobile traffic, and again, I know the stat because we recorded this video recently, but
Yeah,
52% of all mobile traffic, of all internet traffic in 2010 was from mobile devices. So, and that's it's only been over 50-50 in the past, I think, 2 years. Back in 2016, still more people use desktop,
mm.
but now with the use of all phones these days pretty much do the same thing as laptops.
It's so funny, like, the phones, they started off so big, and then they gradually went smaller, and then they went to medium size, and then again they've gone massive.
And now they're growing again.
They're growing again, yeah. So I don't know what's going to. Well, over the future, it's a different topic again, but I think mobile phones will be completely different in the next 5 or 10 years.
Next podcast episode: small phones versus big phones.
Yeah, again, that's a whole hour podcast,
Yeah.
isn't it? Technology. But yeah, in terms of e-commerce, probably the biggest thing that I'd say, and I'd say to anyone watching this who's got an e-commerce store, is to enable Apple Pay on your website, or Android Pay, or
PayPal as well.
Yeah, streamline processes is make it easy as possible. So, if you're selling things through Instagram stories, for example, people swipe up, and then potentially they might impulse buy just because you've got the targeting nailed. With Instagram, when they swipe up on the stories, when they click on that, it's not actually stored in the browser data anywhere. So, they need to make that decision there and then, pretty much. So you need to streamline the process as soon as possible. You need to basically hold a hand from the second that they land on the landing page to actually checking out. So enable Apple Pay. There's on WooCommerce, Shopify, or any other big major.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. I think even like a big cartel, they even support Apple Pay.
You have to.
Yeah, absolutely have to. And again, I made that point in a video that we recorded recently. It's what if, like, there's so many occasions where, like, I'm trying to buy something, and I'm sure a lot of people else do that as well, where your phone, your wallet, and your credit card, and something that you need to actually make the purchase is like is not in your room, it's in your car, or it's in a different room or something like that, and you can't make the purchase. And once people do not love your site so much that they're going to save it or write it down or send it to themselves. They will quit, and then when they have the card with them, they will search again, and yours will most likely not be the website or the product that they find again. So exactly. You literally have like a couple of seconds to get people through that checkout process, in terms of converting them from just someone that's on the site to making a sale if you run an e-commerce site. And having just how easy it is just to use Apple Pay or even PayPal, because it's so much easier to put in your card number in, the 3-digit code, sort code, all that stuff.
Also, on e-commerce, make sure you leverage guest checkouts, so people don't actually have to fill in all the details. Minimum details, email address, but even social login. So if you can enable people to log in with their accounts through Facebook or Google, or Twitter or whatever, again, that's another way to streamline the process. But you can also get their email addresses aimlessly and really easily as well. So that's a massive point, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm sad that we haven't actually looked up a stat for this before we sat down, but the amount of people that drop off, that leave an open cart and don't check out because there isn't a fast checkout option, is huge.
I mean, probably, I'm a bit of an impulse buyer, and
I think everyone is these days.
Yeah, everyone is. And if we
have Amazon at our door, so we can have, if we wanted something in the next 3 hours, we can.
Exactly. It just makes it so easy. And if you look at Amazon, for example, so when they introduced the buy with one click, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, and it's dangerous, isn't it?
I mean, kids started buying like toys and stuff.
Well, I wish
without the parents' permissions.
Like yeah.
Just 5 Nerf guns turned up tomorrow morning.
Yeah, but again, like it's for you as business owners and e-commerce store owners, it's brilliant. There's brilliant tools you can use, and then to kind of skyrocket your conversions. With all the traffic that you work hard to get to the website, make sure that you use the Facebook pixel and retarget traffic too. And
I think that's a whole another podcast. Facebook pixel.
Yeah, I mean, again, retargeting's that's invaluable, especially for e-commerce. But we use retargeting too, don't we? So we get quite a lot of organic traffic per month. We don't actually run that many ads, like, just in general, do we? It tends to just be retargeting because we know it's warm traffic.
And again, it's trial and error. One other thing that I want to mention, actually, and it's from a UI perspective, from a design perspective, is, and we see this quite often, I'd say, but people sometimes go in the other direction as well. Sometimes people make landing pages either way too long, or not long enough. It's very very rarely that we actually working with someone and we don't have to suggest some amendments in terms of saying, hold on, this is way too long. People are not going to
Web
scroll down.
pages, they tend to be completely different, don't they? But landing pages
Yeah.
where people land off Google, off a Google ad or a Facebook ad, it's different to a search page, isn't it?
Is it fair to say that from the projects that we've run,
Yeah.
the most successful landing pages in terms of the results they bring in terms of the leads they bring in, are the shorter ones?
The shorter one. So basically, the key elements to a successful landing page is quick. The contact it's basically impossible for them not to know what you need to get from them. And also, include some social proof. So try and put testimonials, that kind of thing.
That's the thing. And people try to put too much. Like when we say social proof, we mean like a few quotes from people that have used the service, bought the product or whatever, not like rows and rows of like 18 case studies of like how Margaret went from A to B with like 3 paragraphs. No one's gonna read that. People do not need that much proof. And again, it impacts things like load speed. If your website is massive, it's long, you most likely have some imagery on there.
And
it's just
more importantly, like you've got to just think for the user. Like people, they're just going to lose interest, and it's going to slow the site down massively. If
100%.
With this big text blocks. On mobile, if your font's not mobile responsive, again, it's just going to cripple the site. It? So
I always use the word KISS for this. Do you know that one? The acronym?
Is it
keep it simple, stupid.
That's it. Yeah. Keep it stupid, simple.
Or keep it either one of those. Yeah, whichever one you want to use.
Is it keep it simple, comma stupid?
Potentially, I'm not sure. We'll get back to you on that one. But essentially, the shorter the better. Of it, but at the same time, we have people that just want sort of the title and then ask for people's phone numbers and emails, and we're like, no one's going to give you all those details unless they're getting something in return. So
it's about building a good relationship.
Providing some value. I mean, again, this might be another topic that we talk about, but lead magnets. Actually having them download something of value, like an ebook or a video or access to something, in order to get their details. But at the end of the day, like from what we've experienced and from the projects that we're working on now, the ones that generate the most leads are the ones that are like when you land maybe one scroll and you're at the bottom of the page, and there's an opt-in at the top, opt-in at the bottom, probably a button somewhere in the middle that scrolls you to either one of them. So people never get lost. You never want to be in a section where if you scroll up and scroll down, there's no button to show them what to do. So a call to action button, you have to, like if you've got a longer page, you always have to scatter call to action buttons on it, because people will just get lost, and if they get bored and there's no button, they'll click the exit button, and that's just a fact.
That's it. We spend a long time optimizing the landing pages, and especially a long time on the mobile as well, because people, again, like we said, the mobile traffic, we do spend a lot of time on that, don't we?
100%. And it's so one, I can't remember the exact stat, but I think one scroll on a desktop is equivalent to between 3 and 5 on the mobile. And think about that. If you've got a landing page that takes you like 10 scrolls to get down to the bottom on your desktop, think how painful that is for the 52% that in 2019, and 2019 probably even more, that the 60% are going to be going on there from a mobile.
Definitely.
So think about that next time you're putting together a landing page for something.
Yeah, but again, like when you're building a landing page, especially if you've got a large budget, or you're literally trying to make the most of the budget, which you should be, get people to test it. Get people who don't have a clue who you are to test it, because if you're doing it in house, then you're likely to get biased opinions, or if it's only you and the team that are testing it, then again you're likely to get biased opinions.
Well, that's what we often sometimes do as well. Is we set up more than one landing page and split list them. So we'd set up 3, one's short, one long, one with images, one without.
Same with the ads as well. Same with
exactly.
Facebook ads as well.
So there's people don't realize there's a lot that goes into
that's the
into
time, that's the skill,
campaign.
that's the it's what's done through experience and stuff. So yeah, and another thing, like the client input. Again, it's important, but the information that we're given to kind of understand and understand the business. Like you can take the information, but it's our job to kind of place it in the right places and things
100%,
like that.
yeah.
So yeah.
So to conclude, what doesn't convert? What are the reasons pages don't convert? Speed. You're targeting the wrong people. You're bringing in the wrong people to look at the wrong product.
Yep.
And you're making them read either too much information or you're not giving them enough information about what you're trying to get them to do.
Or you're making it too difficult to check out.
Or you're making it too difficult to actually buy the product.
Yeah.
If you're running an e-commerce store, yeah.
Cool. And track on Google Analytics as well as Google Ads Manager, or use something like Hotjar or something like that.
Hotjar is actually a really cool. I'm just gonna pick up on that because a lot of people don't know about it. But Hotjar is actually really, really good, and it will allow you to see where on your website people are clicking and looking and
even hovering,
not even
clicking. So
can we leave a link to that in the description?
Yeah, we can leave a link to that in the description. Again, it's free, and there's no reason not to. And if you're using a WordPress website, it integrates really easily. So just go out and do that. If you follow these tips, then track the conversion rate now, and then see what it's like.
Test.
It's the last thing I want to add. Just think of the end consumer that's going to be consuming your content. Do it for instead of thinking about Facebook algorithms, Google algorithms. At the end of the day, just plan for the end user, because essentially they're going to be the ones checking out and converting.
Definitely.
We'll see you next week.